Hey everybody, thanks everybody for coming out. I know that this is a long way for a lot of people. This is Aberdeen, Washington. This is where I grew up, one of my favorite places on earth. One of the very unique things about Aberdeen is it gets 80 plus inches of rain a year. See by all the greenery around. I love this place. I was born in the hospital that's right down the road. I went to high school at this high school, Aberdeen Weatherwax High School, but not this exact high school because the high school I went to was just over there, but the place burned down. So, but some things sometimes that's sad, but they have this incredible new high school here, which I think is just beautiful. So anyways, I think it's really neat that we're here because we're introducing this new showcase mode that's been absent from 2K for the last couple of years, and part of it is cool because the showcase mode features me, and you get to start as Bryan Danielson as opposed to Daniel Bryan, and this is really where Bryan Danielson came from. Is this area? This is a product. I'm a product of growing up around here, growing up around the trees, growing up around the rain, and that's really shaped who I am as a human being. So that said, I'm really excited about the showcase mode and that I'm featured in the showcase mode because you get to be Bryan Danielson wrestling John Cena in 2003.
That's crazy. That's
very
crazy.
Unique version of me. And I think I'm wearing white trunks and thick pads. And I wrestled Jamie Noble not too long after that, and the crowd was chanting "Tidy Whitey," right? Like underwear, and so yeah. So it's really cool. You get to transition into that. To me being an NXT rookie in WWE, to me getting fired, to me being rehired, up to me being forced to retire, which was just up in Seattle at Key Arena, not too far from here, a couple hours away, and then me coming back. So I think all of that is really cool, and really comes back to this idea of never say never. Like the showcase mode got taken away a couple years ago, and fans really wanted it back. Because it's a really awesome thing to go through somebody's entire career, and so that got brought back at the same time I got brought back, which is just a cool little thing. So thank you all for making the trek out here. I look forward to sitting down with each of you individually and talking about the game and talking about this place and my career and all that kind of stuff. So thank you everybody for coming.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today I have the one and only Daniel Bryan here with me. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man.
So 2K has brought back showcase mode, fan favorite mode, everybody loves it. How does it feel to have your career showcased, no pun intended, to the people who play the game?
You know, it's really cool to me. I think it's one of my favorite things is that I've always been Daniel Bryan in video games, and now people can play as Bryan Danielson, and I think that's, to me, it's just really cool because that was a very important, impactful part of my career that really holds a special place in my heart. So I think that's cool. I also think it's cool that people who are newer fans get to play through that story and really get to understand that story better. I think the further we get along in culture, the more that we're realizing that video games are not only entertaining, but they also have a way of educating. And that's like so this isn't necessarily educational, but it's like, for example, with like World War II video games or history video games, kids are getting a better understanding, and that gives them this idea of like, oh, I'm interested in this. Like, what are they talking about? And then that leads to learning and curiosity in different facets.
Do you play any of the 2K games yourself, like whenever you can?
No, I don't play video games at all. What I found is, so I stopped playing video games after the original Nintendo.
Really?
Yeah. So like, because we didn't have very much money, so when the Super Nintendo came out, the friend across the street who had the original Nintendo gave me theirs and his game. So I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. And then I stopped playing because nobody gave me a Super Nintendo, right? And so, so then, you go through this time where, as a young adult, I'm very poor and don't have interest in spending money on video games. Then I get to about 2003 or 2004, and now the buttons are so much more complex than the original video game. I remember I was in the Inoki Dojo. They brought these video games in, and they had this Star Wars game. And they're like, oh, Bryan, why don't you play a Star Wars game? I was like, okay, yeah, great. I'll give it a shot. There's all these buttons. All I ended up doing was looking down at the ground, spinning around and shooting. And I ended up dying in like 2 minutes, right? Or maybe less. And I was just like, you know what? this isn't fun.
This is not for me.
Right, yeah. Yeah, it just requires, as an older person, you have to either evolve as the video games are evolving, or you just have to realize that just like, you know what, this is just...
Like, I'll just leave that to the side. So what would you say is your favorite career moment so far?
Gosh, it's interesting because I have so many for so many different reasons. I think my favorite moment actually happened in Key Arena, and it wasn't even me wrestling. They were doing this championship ceremony between John Cena and Randy Orton, where they're unifying the titles, the World Heavyweight Championship and the WWE Championship. And it's supposed to be all about Randy Orton and John Cena, but the Seattle crowd just
they went crazy
it.
for you.
And they just chanted Daniel Bryan through the whole thing, and that's super cool. But that's not the reason why I love it most. Is that was the last time my dad got to see me wrestle before he died.
Oh yeah.
And so it was really cool because after that was the last segment on the show. Then afterwards, my dad like ran out to the barricade, and I got to give him a big hug. And
that's so nice.
And he went with his boss, right? So not only did he get to see it, but his boss got to see
That's
it.
really
and his
cool.
boss's wife is like, "This is Daniel Bryan's dad. This is Daniel Bryan's dad." And my dad's shy like me, and so he's like, "Oh, stop it, stop it." And people are coming up to him like, "Oh, can we get your autograph?" He's like, Buddy Danielson, Daniel Bryan's dad. And so it's like, and he would, like, he told me about it and how special he thought it was, but when I really knew it was special to him was when he told it to my sister. And like, my sister was like, "Dad just talked about it for like 45 minutes about how, like, because he had never gotten to see me get that kind of reaction before, you know. And I think as a father, and me as a father now, like, that holds a special place in my heart.
Yeah, that's awesome. Speaking of father, that was going to be the next question I asked you. I don't want to take too much of your time, so it's going to be the last question. You just came back from injury, amazing. Your daughter gets to see you, saw you wrestle and gets to see you wrestle now. How great does that feel? Like, I can only imagine.
Yeah, so when I came back in that match and I saw pictures of my mom holding her while I'm wrestling, and then they had her up at the TV while I hugged Brady, you know, at the end of the match. And it was, it's just really cool, and it really brought a tear to my eye. So one of the things that was really a driving force behind me wanting to come back to wrestling is so Birdie could see me wrestle. And at an age where she could understand it and like remember it a little bit, and like, okay, my dad was told no about this certain thing, and he fought back, and he wouldn't give up. And I think that was a real motivating factor for me, because like, I see some of the guys who have kids and their kids get to see them wrestle, and I just think it's the coolest thing. Luke Harper's boy was backstage last night when we were in Orlando, and like, you can see just how, like, the way that he looks at his dad, you know,
like
and
that look of excitement.
That look of excitement, and then like he also, because he loves wrestling, and he gets to be in the locker room with the guys. So like, he loves, for example, he loves the New Day. So he got to play video games with the New Day. You know what I mean? Backstage. So I mean, like, as a kid, man, I think like, what would happen if I could play video games with the Ultimate Warrior, right? Like,
super cool. That's super cool.
So being able to give those moments to your kids as well, like, that's, you know, that's a big motivating factor.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for your time.
Yep, no problem.
I greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.